Hi,
Brad,
Joe.
nice to see
Good to
you.
see you.
Nice
Hi,
to see
Judy.
you
Good to see
finally at
you.
Pomona.
Yeah, it's great to see you at Pomona. We saw each other in John Force's area. That was great.
Yes, yes, that's when I noticed him at his hospitality. He is ideal and good to his sponsors.
There is no one like him, that's for sure. And
He has
we
a
can all say
quality.
that, and it is 100% the truth. He is the first one at the event signing autographs and making sure fans and sponsors are good, and the last one to leave. It is JFR along with Robert and Brittany and Austin. What a great team there, no doubt. And I enjoyed that. I watched that entire segment there. It's always fun to watch, John. You never know which way it's going to go, but it's always a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Joe, it's all you. And
Thank you,
Brad.
Judy. Thank you, Francisque. All right, Brad, it's you and me.
Hi, Joe. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. Just watched John pitch the sport to E-Part Trade. Brittany, our world champion, Robert, who had such a great year. I'm just going to open the door to you to talk a little bit about the sport. You know, the table is set. We all are hoping for great and positive things in the future. And the energy around this sport right now is so positive. You know, what about from your perspective, from the sales side, from the event side? Lay it out.
Yeah. Well, heck, we finished up 2022. I think, you know, we went through what a season, what a great season, really. You know, as John and Brittany and Robert said, there's so many positives that came through it. The NFL lead-in that we had with at the Reading race. I mean, over 2 million viewers we had during that weekend, which was great. You know, many new teams went back to Phoenix, Richmond, Seattle. We hadn't been to each one of those tracks in 2-3 years. So we hadn't been to those tracks because of COVID. So we were able to get back to those tracks. Our attendance was back. I mean, if we talked about the Reading race there with the Kretzkys that just bought that track, but we talked about that race, and that was a sold out race. I mean, I was just looking at pictures on it this morning, and the fence line was, you know, 10, 12, 14 people deep on that fence line. I know you were there. So what a great, phenomenal season with a lot of new teams coming out. You know, Tony Stewart Racing, Ron Capps breaking off and forming his own team, Antron Brown forming his own team. Congratulations to Capps winning the funny car. I know it really you know, it must have been a real stinger to height, but anyway, Capps winning that championship. Antron, Josh Hart coming out and for his sophomore season, let's call it, you know, Krista Baldwin coming out and racing, the Maynards buying part of DSR and most of DSR actually. So, and finalizing that, Rick Ware, I heard you mention that, you know, coming out. Heck, we've heard rumors of the money team, Floyd Mayweather, coming out and doing some stuff. I know they're at Pomona and there was some announcements there. We'll see what happens there. I did notice as well that someone made a comment about Pomona, and thank you for clarifying that. That's been a rumor that's been out there forever. So we worked hard to extend that agreement. So we'll be there through 2033. It is. So that's pretty amazing there. That's pretty cool. We announced that In-N-Out is we're going to rebrand that. This is a very interesting thing there, Joe. A lot of people don't know that, you know, that was called Auto Club Raceway. And as Robert Height was very, very clear and made that statement, that Auto Club is not leaving the NHRA. They're redeploying some dollars, but they're not leaving the NHRA. They're still sponsors of John Force Racing. They're still partnering with the NHRA as well. So they're doing multiple things with the NHRA. They'll be at 6 or 8 races next year on the NHRA, and then also sponsoring John Force Racing and Robert Height as well. So that's a good thing. But what we did do is we announced, and probably why people think that is, we announced that In-N-Out Burger is going to take over the naming rights to the Pomona drag strip there. And Pomona drag strip is interesting because that was called Auto Club Raceway. And we all looked at each other as we were talking In-N-Out and said, you know, when's the last time we all said we're going to the raceway? You know, we say we're going to the drag strip. So let's call it a drag strip, exactly what it is. And you'd be amazed that there aren't very many tracks that are called drag strips. They're all called raceways or dragways or something else, you know, which is interesting. So we rebranded that In-N-Out Burger Pomona drag strip. I'm sure half the people that see that will think there's a new drag strip out there, but it's been out there since, you know, the 50s. So pretty amazing. But what a great race, a great racing season. You know, I'll stop talking. You know me, Joe. I can talk forever. Yeah.
Well, listen, we got 20 minutes left, and I'm going to pepper you with some questions. And I kind of got you on the ropes here to ask whatever I want. But the good news is that we're on the same page with this. My feeling about ePart Trade and their audience, though, is that it's an international audience, and we've got people from all around the world. Jim Campbell from Chevrolet was just on. We had some amazing guests both this year and last year, and so it's a great opportunity to showcase what's happening in the world of drag racing. And so let me ask you the question that I asked the Force family when they parted ways, which is like, what do you want for the sport in 2023? I know you're actively working to make whatever you say happen, but what's the road to success, greater success? John referred to us as like NASCAR's little brother who's trying to get there, right? And if they're trying to negotiate a $900 million television contract, I would say, yeah, I agree. We would love a part of that. What do you want for the sport of drag racing in 2023? What are we trying to make happen?
Well, we have to get better. We have to think about ourselves, okay, and just focus on what we can do better day in and day out. And those things are things such as, okay, talking to the youth. Okay, we always talk about it. Okay, what can we do to attract more people to come to our sport? Okay, we have our youth programs in place. Okay, we have the youth and education services program that we do on Friday mornings. We have our junior drag racing series that we have. We're really focused on that junior drag racing series, and in each you'll see this year, actually in 2022, what we did was we actually put them on the national broadcast show. Okay, we did that just to show people that you can start racing at the NHRA at 5 years old. Okay, so pretty amazing. But really, it's about growing our membership. Okay, which is our racers. Okay, growing our member tracks as well. Okay, so doing that, continuing to get better within the TV program. The TV program and our partnership with Fox Sports is a phenomenal partnership. We are guaranteed to have 550 hours of programming on the Fox Sports network there in 2023. We had over 700 hours in 2022. That's primarily because of our great partnership that we have with Fox. A lot of people don't know this. I know you know it, Joe. A lot of people think it's Fox producing the show. It's actually the NHRA producing the show. It's NHRA Productions producing the show and just uplinking it to Fox. So we do that. But really, new partners, new sponsors. Okay, as we come into these new areas, we're coming back to Chicago in 2023. New partners. We already announced In and Out. We will have 2 more announcements here next week on all new partnerships coming back into the NHRA or coming into the NHRA. Partners that have never been involved with NHRA, which is great as well. So that's good. That will allow us to put more money back into the teams, okay, as well. We'll have over our specialty race programs that we're going to have in 2023. We'll put approximately $1 million in bonus money at each one of the races, coming back into the categories as well. So there's a multitude of things that we're working on. Our main pillars are is to more fans in attendance, more partnerships, and more teams, and make sure they're all taken care of.
And obviously, I'd love to hear you say that. I know we've got some announcements coming out. We'll talk about those later. But making that happen and servicing those relationships in drag racing, that's something that is on your desk at all times. What are some of the challenges? And obviously, there are folks out there right now who haven't yet been involved in drag racing. Why is NHRA drag racing a great value and a great opportunity to promote their company?
Yeah, well, we are, good question. I could go on that subject for about 3 hours if we had the
should
time.
be able to, my goodness.
But really, why is it a good value? It starts with what we do on track and in venue. Okay, and what we do on track, if people that have never been to a race, it's amazing when when our nitro teams take off. It's 20,000 horsepower taken off at once. Okay, if you never experienced that, it literally you can feel it hit you in the chest. Okay, you could be in the grandstands and you will feel it hit you in the chest. Okay, when that happens. So that's very visceral, seeing it, hearing it, smelling it. Okay, between the tires and the burnouts and the nitromethane and what we're doing on track, it's just unbelievably crazy. But then in addition to that, you can walk right in. You can walk right to the cars. I mean, if you wanted to touch John Force's funny car, you can touch John Force's funny car. Okay, if you want to do that. Why did you do that? We back the cars right out into the midway there where all the fans are standing. Okay, so when they're backing it out, you could literally touch John Force's car, Robert Heiss's car, Brittany's dragster, whatever it may be. You could touch those cars, and literally 20-30 minutes later, they're going down the track at 330 plus miles an hour, which is, you think about that, and people just don't understand it. I hear frequently that people, the paddock's closed, and it's like, well, number one, it's not called a paddock, it's a pit. Okay, in drag racing, it's pit. Okay, it's the pits. Okay, we're going into the pits, and our pits are completely wide open, as John said. Every ticket's a pit pass, so you could buy a general admission ticket. Okay, and this is what's amazing to me. You could buy a general admission ticket, and with that general admission ticket, you could bring 4 kids under the age of 12 complimentary. So you can have 2 adults bring a whole Girl Scout troop or a Boy Scout troop or a Little League team. Okay, so you could literally, and these general admission tickets average about $50. Okay, so you just think about that. Buy 2 general admission tickets, you could have 8 kids under the age of 12 come in complimentary. It's 10 people, $100. And then you could actually walk right up into the locker room. Imagine if you could, you're in Miami. If you go to Miami Heat game, okay, you go to Miami Heat game, you buy 2 tickets, you can bring 8 kids under the age of 12 potentially, and then you could also walk into the locker room. Unheard of, Well, that happens at the NHRA. Okay, so that's the access is one thing, and then on top of that, the access and the phenomenal what's happening on the track, which is absolutely, I'm still amazed with it after 30 years of being involved in the automotive industry and the NHRA. I'm still amazed, but the NHRA also controls the production of the entire show. So that gives us we control the narrative, we control the camera angles, we control, so we can tell the stories, we can pivot last minute. We see something happening, we make a phone call or a text or a call, and you see it all day long there at the track there, Joe, where you're pivoting all the time. But we control the production, which gives us a huge amount of flexibility with our partners. Okay, because we may think something may be going on, and we could pivot to go over there real quick. So we control the production. The experience at in venue inside the pits is bar none. There's nothing that I see that compares to it. There is, and then the excitement, and the entertainment on track is crazy. We added these call outs this year as well, which you're well aware of, the Pep Boys call outs. That was phenomenal as well, since we've always called them shootouts. We wanted to mix it up and get a little spicy, so we switched it up and made it call out. So one calls out 8, or one calls out whoever they want to call out, and there was some excitement there. So that was a lot of fun. So a lot of those types of exciting things, they're just, we got to keep things exciting, and we know we're a good value. I can go head to head with anybody and say that I'm very, very, very confident that anybody that looks at me and says, prove out why X amount of dollars is going to be a good value for us, I can do that. Okay, we can do that on our team. We track everything, viewership, we track all the valuations, we track all the social valuations, we track all the comments worldwide that we have. So we're in a good spot right now, and we just have to continue to look at ourselves and continue to improve ourselves day in and day out.
John is out there. He says, I get 30 Top Eliminator Club tickets every winter nationals and finals, and make a point to bring some newbies. The expression on their faces is priceless when they hear their first nitro car. There's no way to describe it. Words don't do it justice. And isn't that the problem though, right? Like, you can't describe it. The challenge is to get someone to the track for the first time. And that will change their experience even watching on television, because now they'll know what's actually happening behind the lens of the camera to get them there for the first time. What are some initiatives for 2023 that will help make that happen?
Well, in 2023, I'll go back just to 2016 even, when we had all new TV trucks built. We built these TV trucks to be 4K capable and Dolby Atmos audio. Okay. So why did we do that? We did that so if people are watching at home, they will get as close to the experience as possible with our 4K that we are capable of shooting in. We don't shoot in it all the time. We just do projects with it, but it is in HD. And then the Dolby Atmos with the audio really does that. So then we can actually make it feel like you're at the event. Hopefully that will get you to come out to the event because it feels much more realistic inside your home. Okay, so we record it in 4K, we can, and then also in Dolby Atmos audio. But in 2023, we'll have many more specialty races. Okay, so we'll have many more specialty races, and we're also working on a program that we will have actual racing on Saturday as well. Okay, with our pro teams as well. So actual racing, not just qualifying racing. Okay, so there are some programs we're working on right now, which will make some announcements on that, which will be pretty darn exciting there. We are, as you said in the prior one, we are kicking off in Gainesville. Okay, kicking off in Gainesville, one of our largest races of the year, and it's also going to kick off on Fox Network. Okay, so we're kicking off the first race of the year on Fox Network, get that momentum going, and then we are going to do the spring swing this year. We call it the spring swing because we're going to Phoenix, Pomona, and Vegas, okay, in the spring. So we're doing that. We worked with all the teams, and we wanted to help them save some money on fuel and going traversing the country and stuff like that. So that's why we're doing that. But we will have many more. Factory X will be coming out this year. So we'll have Factory X coming out this year. That is like the factory stock cars, but it's two-frame chassis and factory stock engines in there. So that'll be a new category that we're introducing. Factory stock, okay, with Constant Aviation on board. That'll be exciting. The promo. I mean, there are so many things I can talk about. It's like, where do you know it as well as I do, Joe? What excites you for 2023? There's a ton of things here on my side.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, no, and that's the thing is, that is very drag racing, which has happened to everybody, is that there is always too much to talk about. And one of our challenges in the sport is that we do have too many classes, too many cars, but that's a problem that we like. We love to have it. We would not get rid of any of it. And we're just going to work hard to fit it in. Let's talk about something that is a challenge though, Brad, because it can't all be silver lining, right? People, reject that it's all rosy. There's always challenges. And someone referenced Seattle earlier in the chat section, right? They said we had 8 funny cars. We actually had more than that. But
yeah, we had 12 there. Just so I looked that up, by the way.
Thank you for doing that. But that's, by the way, a huge percentage increase from 8. Thank you very much. But here's the deal. Drivers who made qualifying attempts across the 4 categories in 2022, 138 different professional drivers made a qualifying attempt. Drivers who made at least one start actually qualified, 119. This is the one that shocks me, though, and these are numbers compiled by Pete from Fox. Drivers who made at least one final round, 41 different racers across the NHRA Camping World Series made at least one final round. That is an amazing number for, we were talking with Brittany about diversity, but how about just the availability for a person to get involved and actually have success? That's something that we're seeing at NHRA. How do we, as great as those numbers are, we don't want to have races with 12 cars, even though it was up there in Seattle. How do we increase participation? I know that's something you're working on. You already mentioned trying to lower costs by adjusting the schedule.
Yeah, there are outlier events like that Seattle race, okay, but the Seattle race was a phenomenal race out there. It's great to be up in the Northwest. We are the only major racing motorsport that goes up to the Northwest. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What are we doing there? Interesting. You mentioned 138 different race teams. Okay, it was the most competitive racing season that I have seen. Everything was so tight. That speaks volumes about what we're doing with our tech department and how we're trying to make sure that the parity is there. The elevation, I mean, you look at the top fuel class, and I think there were several where the top 8 in the top fuel all ran in the 370s, which is crazy. I mean, absolutely amazing. How do we get more people in? I know we're working on, we're always working to try to make sure drive down the cost of operating. Okay. That's why we're starting in Gainesville. So any dollar that we can save is literally a dollar earned for these teams. Okay. So we're working with them on that. Always trying to find ways. Why do we do things such as put rev limiters on and do those types of things? Well, if we didn't do certain things, these people want to win. Okay. They're going to blow up cars. They're going to blow up parts. They're going to blow because they need to go right to the edge. And many of them will go right past that edge, which causes these vehicles to blow up. Okay. Well, our tech team works with each one of these teams and tries to figure out, okay, if we do this, then that crank will last longer. That block will last longer. Anything else, it goes from, a crank may lasting 6 or 8 runs to 10 or 12 runs, that all helps. Okay. Even doing things like going to 3 qualifying runs. Okay. Which we'll have, most of our races this year will have 4, I believe. And then there will be 3 on some of them, but doing that just saves a lot of money for these teams because they don't have to go out and burn that nitro and blow up or break parts or service the engines or do whatever it may take. So we're just continually finding ways to not only help them save money, but also finding new programs such as the Pep Boys call outs. We will be announcing other call outs happening. We will be announcing some Saturday racing that's going on, finding ways to develop exciting entertainment that will also put money back into the team's hands. Okay, bonus money. So that bonus money that I talked about that's approaching $1 million is over and above the event purse money, over and above the year-end money. Okay, so this is just event by event bonus money, which is pretty darn cool. And that's what my team works on day in and day out, along with the competition department and the marketing department. We all work together to try to make sure that we can, as I said, put more money in the pockets of the teams, while also helping them be more efficient.
All right, running a little short on time. The status of the Drive to Survive style content shows, we teased last year, progress has been made. We all know that drag racers are great characters, and if only we could capture some of that behind the scenes stuff. Give us your status, and then talk about anything that you wanted to throw out there that I didn't happen to ask you about.
Yeah, I think that, that's a big topic. We have probably worked with 4 to 5 different companies that have an interest in working with NHRA to do that style programming. Okay. It is in the works right now. We have the capabilities of doing that ourselves. We do it right now. It's not the Drive to Survive style. Okay. We do it with our NHRA and 30s right now. We created about 14 different NHRA and 30s last year. Actually more than that, 14 individual ones though, in addition to the racing NHRA and 30s that we did on each event. So that we do that within the NHRA. But I do know of, there are major brands that we have all heard of that are talking to us right now about doing stuff. I can't go into much more deeper than that, but I think you're at the track. You see what's happening there with other people, other production companies there. So there is things happening in the works right now, but I can't go any farther than that right now with that.
Anything that I did not touch on that you wanted to bring to the table here, and then tag that with, maybe there's somebody out there that wants to sponsor a national event, that wants to be on the side of a 330-mile-per-hour nitro car watching around the world on ePart Trade. Hit them with the right information.
Yeah, if what we try to do first, people say, well, can you send me what the NHRA has? And we always say, well, what is it that you want and need? We have a ton of assets. Okay, we have a ton of assets, and I always say that the teams are the sexy part. Okay. I mean, there is nothing better than being on the side of a car and then going, imagine this. We just talked about John Force, but there is, he brought up the Torrance family. Okay. There's so many teams out there that have such great hospitality. When you talk to like a Ron Capps or Antron Brown or Alex Laughlin, or they all are working hard day in and day out. Okay. And they have, when you are a part of a team in the NHRA, you are truly a part of that team. I mean, you're in the locker room. We say in the locker room because you're in the pits. You are literally 1 foot from where those cars are actually being worked on and fired up and rebuilt and everything else. So if someone wants to work with NHRA out there, which I'd be glad to talk to them, you can reach out to me directly at Brad Gerber, bgerber@NHRA.com. Okay. I'm very open. We help all the teams with backup numbers, justifying why a particular partner should be involved. We research, which we can prove out that our sport has a higher propensity to buy this particular product more often. Okay, so we can prove that out to people. Okay, in certain categories, I believe we are the best value for money out there. We can prove that out in a number of ways. I always say, just look at us, give an opportunity, and we'd be glad to work hard to earn your business. And you'll see our clients that we have, they usually stay around for a long time. And that's because we really service them. We really make sure they're getting their value. We'll work with them. We'll adjust year by year if needs change, or if their marketing strategies change and things like that. They may think that digital's more important, or national TV is more important, or in-venue engagement and experiential stuff is more important. So we'll move things around year in and year out. So, but yeah, looking forward to a great 2023. Okay, and hey, I just want to thank Francis and Judy for putting on this at ePartrade. Thank you very much. This is really cool what you do. It kind of it keeps the momentum going for all of us. Okay, and really gets a lot of people involved. So thank you very much for this. It's been really cool.
Judy, you're on mute.
Yes,
Brad,
I noticed that. Twice
Hey,
today.
Brad, one more question. John in the chat section wants to know, how can we watch the NHRA in 30s? Hit him with that, to go to the NHRA in 30s. Where would John see that stuff?
Yeah, they are revolving all the time on Fox Sports. Okay, so you can record everything NHRA on Fox Sports, and if you do that, you'll get it all. Okay, but I do have to let you know that when you do record everything on NHRA on Fox Sports, your DVR will probably fill up pretty darn quick because it's on there a lot. Okay, but also NHRA.TV carries a lot of the NHRA in 30. You could also go to our YouTube channel, NHRA YouTube channel. They carry a lot of the NHRA 30 as well on there. One thing I did not note is, we also carry it on AVOD platforms. So you can go to Roku, Hulu, Samsung TV Plus. They all have the NHRA logo with the NHRA app on there. A lot of our content's up there as well.
Excellent. And of course, NHRA social media channels, there are a lot of good things on there as well. I know you.
And Nikki does a great job out there. No doubt about it.
Yeah, that's why I said that, because I figured she'd probably yell at me if I did.
Yeah. Good job.
Thanks, Brad.
well,
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Brad. Great having you, and great covering all those series organizers, sanctioning bodies from everywhere in the world. And we had a big, back-to-back NHRA session, and we covered a lot of drag racing this week. We today was 2 big sessions, and then Monday night or Tuesday night with Clay Milligan and Jim Oberhofer. We had Erica Enders. This is a really important segment of the market. So thank you so much for being with us, Brad.
Registering on ePartrade is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. Or choose Join Company if you are an employee, and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to ePartrade.